And finally, it was perhaps the worst-kept secret in television, but today ITV announced formally that the News at 10 will return. 40 years after the programme was originally launched, it's about to be reborn.
Yes, the news will also mean the return of Sir Trevor MacDonald and, for the first time, direct competition between the flagship programmes on ITV and the BBC. Paul Davis now on the news head-to-head.
It was the nation's best-loved news programme, and it's coming back, complete with those famous bongs. 8 years after ITV first moved the news from its 10 o'clock slot, the man who presented the last News at 10 will lead a team of presenters relaunching what was an institution. He says it's back where it should be.
We all felt it was a shocking mistake. But of course, you work in an organisation and decisions are taken, and you have to support those decisions. But we all felt deep down that it was an appalling mistake, and time has proved us right. It's nice that that mistake has been corrected.
Despite its popularity, News at 10 was originally moved to open up the late-night TV schedule for other programmes, a decision described as a shocking mistake by ITV's current management. So they're going back to that famous brand name, the bongs, and a familiar look. Like News at 10 in its heyday, the programme will be brought to you by two presenter teams. News at 10 was first launched in the decade that saw man land on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
For 3 decades, it brought the nation the world's defining images.
Almost the first person we saw was a little girl aged about 9 running up the road.
News at 10 and the team that produced it were watched and trusted by millions. At a time when trust has become such a sensitive issue, it will again be a cornerstone in the ITV schedule, going head-to-head, competing with the BBC's flagship 10 o'clock news.
It is a big gamble, and of course you could say it's not really serving the public. I don't buy that. I say go for it. I think the BBC at the moment is a bit destabilised in terms of its news programming.
The switch back to 10 o'clock will happen early next year. Paul Davis, ITV News.
And if you'd like to watch some classic clips from the old News at 10, and there are plenty of them, you can view them on our website. That's www.itv.com/news.
And that is tonight's evening news.
Later at 10:30, Bottom Dollar, the cut in American interest rates made in the last hour that shows how much trouble the US economy is really in.
And you can join Mark for that, of course, but for now, from all the team here, the evening news team, bye-bye. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
The ITV National Weather is sponsored by E.ON, the energy behind power gen.
Hello, good evening. Temperatures soared to 17 degrees in parts of Worcestershire today, 63 degrees in Fahrenheit. And the good news is we maintain the mild weather over the next few days. So it's a very pleasant start to our brand new month of November. Back to the moment at hand now. And we've still got wet and windy weather in parts of Scotland there. Further south, it's a case of light winds and clear slots. And this is a perfect recipe for mist and fog patches. Some of these dense in places. So do be warned about that. So the mist and fog linger on during the course of tomorrow morning. Otherwise, it's a cloudy start to the day, and again, we've got this wet and windy weather in the very far northwest. By afternoon, we see some brightness developing, mainly so in central parts of England as well as Wales, and on the whole, it's lighter winds than we saw today. Now, these are the sorts of temperatures we'd normally expect for the beginning of November. Aberdeen, for instance, coming in at 10.50 in Fahrenheit, Plymouth 13.55 in Fahrenheit. In direct contrast, tomorrow, These are the sorts of temperatures we can expect. Cardiff at 16 or 61 degrees in Fahrenheit. So on the whole, a good 4 or 5 degrees warmer than the average. As far as Friday's weather goes, a quick look ahead, and it's more of the same on Friday. Again, we maintain the wet weather in northern parts of Scotland, and this is the culprit. It's due to a cold front. Then on Saturday, what this cold front does is it sinks southwards all the while, and as a result, the rain dies off. But as another result, we also get cold weather tucking in behind, and that introduces us to much fresher, colder weather beyond the weekends. And that's all from me. Join me later if you're able to.
The ITV National Weather is sponsored by E.ON, the energy behind power gen.